Hi, it's John Fowles with Sonata Marketing and GR Bass USA. And today I just want to do a real brief introduction and a little bit of an overview on a fantastic new product from GR Bass. Pure sound amplifiers made in Italy. They have a new product out. It's been out a couple of months, but we're just now starting to get a lot of them. This is the GR Bass Dual Series. Previously, I had talked about the 1 Series, which refers to the input channel, the one, the mini one, the 1350, the 1800, and the 1400. The two new amplifiers they have are the Dual 800 and the Dual 1400. This is the 1400. The Dual 800 and 1400 look identical. I'll go over some of the feature sets in a minute, but there's some amazing things about this amplifier. You have 2 channel inputs, very lightweight, lots of power, and I'll go over the feature set in just a minute, but there's some great things. This is the amplifier. Again, details coming up. It also has available an optional foot controller that is made of steel, very rugged, very durable. A couple of brilliant things about the foot controller. One is the cable that connects the foot controller to the amplifier is a simple computer type Cat5 cable. Nothing proprietary. You don't have to order a special cable. You don't have to hunt around. Nobody knows what the connector is. Any computer store, Cat5 cable, whatever length you need. So that is really brilliant. And another great thing about the foot controller, you can hook the Cat5 cable up to either side of the foot controller. And I love that because you never know what situation you're going to get into, which side of the stage you're going to have to dress your cables on, or if you're putting it on a pedal board and however you're running it. So you're not committed to in the middle or on one end or the other. So that's really great. So I'll now run over the feature set with you and explain a little bit about the Dual 800 and the Dual 1400 amplifier. All right, this is the Dual amplifier. This is the Dual 1400. The preamp section in the Dual 1400 and the 800 are the same. The main difference between the two is the Dual 800 has a single 800 watt power module in it. The Dual 1400 has 2 700 watt power modules. The advantage of having the Dual 1400 is the fact that you can run multiple cabinets if you need to on a large stage, or if you have different impedance cabinets, you can have a lot of flexibility with the Dual 700 watt amplifiers. The Dual 800 is a little more economical, and if you're running a single cabinet, that's the one you want to get. So that's the difference between them. So the orientation at the front, you can see the preamplifier section. You have 2 independent channels on the Dual amplifier, hence the name Dual, as opposed to the 1 Series, which has 1 preamplifier section. You have 1 preamplifier on the top row and 1 on the bottom row. They're for the most part identical. There's a few extra features on this second channel, and I'll run over those with you. From left to right, we're going to start over here. You see that you have a separate input for each of the preamplifiers. You can plug 1 bass in here and switch between channels if you choose to. Or you can have 2 independent instruments, like a fretted and a fretless, or an electric and an upright, an NS Designs, acoustic bass guitar, electric bass, a Moog keyboard, however you want to do it. And you can have independent volume and tone controls for each one of those basses. You have an auxiliary input like an iPod, iPhone input on the front. This is a switch. You don't have to have the foot switch. If you don't, you can use this foot switch. You can do a channel 1, mix the 2 channels, or channel 2 on the bottom. So you have that sort of flexibility from the front control panel. Across the top is the standard DR power meter, LED, and tuner section across the front. So I'll go over the features that are common between the channels. Each channel has an input gain for your instrument and an output, master output. Each channel has a deep control and it has a bright control. Same center frequencies as the 1 Series, and I'll post those in this video as well. You have a low shelving control and a high frequency shelving control, and you have a low mid and a high mid peaking control, and you have 3 different tone centers for the low mid and for the high mid. You also have a line out for each one of the preamplifiers, and I'll go over the DI section in a minute, but basically you can have a separate DI for each one of the channels, or you can sum both channels into one DI out if you don't have enough channels in your snake, or you just want to combine it. That's a great way to do it. You have a pure switch that will affect both of the channels. You have the headphone out jack and level control. You have the switch that controls the LED and the fan. And you have a speaker mute, so you can turn the speaker off. Now the extra circuit that is unique from the second channel is this drive function. You have a drive level with a low filter for EQing, and then you have a additional drive over here with a blend, and it's the modulation, and that is to really get as gritty as you want or just put a little hair on it, however you want to do it, and that's for the second channel. So it's very clean and very sleek, a lot of duplication, so it's easy to operate. You really don't need a manual. You can figure this all out quite easily. That's the front panel. Give me just a second and we'll switch around to the rear. Okay, now you can see the rear panel of the Dual 1400. You have two speak-on combi jacks, so it can take a 1/4 inch or speak-on. Each one of these jacks is dedicated, in this particular case, to a 700 watt power amplifier. If this were the Dual 800, they would be in parallel into one power amplifier. And you can go down to a 2.67 ohm. It says 2.7, but it's 2.67 ohm load. That's 3 8-ohm cabinets or an 8 and a 4 ohm cabinet, so you have a lot of flexibility. This amplifier could drive potentially 6 8-ohm speaker cabinets. So it can do a lot. If you're like me though and you only want to carry one cabinet at a time, the 800 is a great value. You have two DIs out, one for the line out, the top channel, one for the bottom channel. Unique switch here is if you have this switch out, you have a line out for each channel. If you push this in, then you have a line out mix coming out of line 1, both channels. So it's an awesome feature. Ground lift for your DI, pre and post for your EQ sections to come out of the DIs. You have an effect send and return. There's for the pedal board. That's the Cat 5 connector I talked about at the beginning of the demo. Universal power supply, 100 volts to 240 volts AC, 50-60 cycles. It continuously switches. If you go from country to country, you just need a different power cable. The other thing that's fantastic about this power supply is that you're not going to get brown power artifacts from if you're playing at a club that, like typically in the United States, we use 117 volts, but it's not uncommon to drop to 115, 112. It affects a lot of amplifiers. The fact that this can operate down to 100 volts AC and up to 240, you don't get problems with spikes, you don't get problem with brown power. The amplifier is going to sound the same all the way down to 100 volts, so that's awesome. And a couple of little sweet features that just knock me out. One is a 9-volt supply, and the other is a USB charger. So the 9-volt supply is great if you just want to set a compressor pedal on top, one set of little short insert cables, one DC cable. You don't need to bring anything else, and you can drive your compressor pedal off the amplifier. The USB charger, you can charge up your phone. You can drive an iPad from it. So it's just an extra nice little feature. I'm going to show you the pedal board in just 1 second. This is the optional GR bass pedal board for the Dual 800, the Dual 1400. It's the same pedal. You can see across the front, you can select channel 1, channel 2, a mix of 2 channels, or a mute. If you have channel 2 on and you hit mix, both will come on. You hit the mix off, it goes back to channel 2. Channel 1 is on, mix, both come on, off, it goes back to channel 1. If the mix is not on, you can switch back and forth between the two. And in any of these settings, you have a mute function that engages the tuner and mutes the amplifier. It's steel, very rigid, non-latching. It's got latching switches on it, and again, very durable. And you can see the Cat 5 connector on this end, one on either end. Regular computer type Cat 5 cable. Snaps in, very durable. So that's the rundown on the Dual series, the Dual 800 and the Dual 1400 amplifier from GR Bass from Italy. It's a terrific value, great sounding amplifiers, lots of power, a robust feature set, features out the wazoo. Couldn't recommend it more. The street price of the Dual 800 is $999. Street price of the Dual 1400 is $1249. You can contact me through sonatamarketing.com. We also have a Facebook page for Sonata Marketing, GR based, Instagram. There are dealers around the country. We're setting them up. So please contact me, contact one of our dealers. We'll be happy to get the products into your hands, and I know that you'll really love them. Lightweight, super powerful, easy to operate, great build quality, transparent, pure sound of your hands, your strings, your fingers, and your bass coming through the amplifier. These don't have a baked-in sound, so this is something I think you'll really appreciate, especially if you have a nice selection of basses. So I appreciate it, and thanks, and have a great day. Cheers.